Vanquish is a third-person shooter made by Shinji Mikami and Platinum Games. It is essentially the Japanese take on Gears of War. It emphasizes style, mobility, and variety in combat, which makes it stand out from the glut of third-person shooters, but doesn't do enough to entertain even the most hardened shooter fans. Story. A group of Russian rebels known as the Order of the Russian Star captures the space colony Providence. The colony's energy-harvesting utilities are then turned on San Francisco, microwaving a great deal of the populace. This event is surprisingly graphic, so if I were a tasteful reviewer, I wouldn't show it right about now. So with that emotional justification in tow, Sam Gideon is sent to the space colony in a suit made by DARPA, which costs a metric fuck-ton of tax dollars. The Order of the Russian Star is led by Viktor Zaitsev, a creepy Russian who has the only spacesuit that's fancier than Sam's. In fact, there's a good chance that Sam's actual motivation in this game has more to do with wanting to be the coolest kid on Cool Street, and less to do with San Francisco, but let's pretend Sam cares. So, Zaitsev, who's pretty much Noman from Zone of the Enders but creepier, is... Okay, never mind. Never mind. Nothing, absolutely nothing is creepier than Noman. He was cosplaying a furry and sausage pants by the end of Zone of the Enders 2, so that's some pretty stiff competition on the creepometer there.
Correct, Dingo.
In any case, Sam is fighting Zaitsev and the rest of the Order of the Russian Star throughout the entire game. He's not alone, however, because he's teamed up with the Marines. Even though Sam's here on a retrieval mission for Dr. Francois Candide, this guy, however, is here to fuck up every last robot on this colony. Robert Burns is incognizant of Sam's true purpose, so his priorities and Sam's clash all throughout the game. This leads to such hilariously cliché moments that you have to wonder if Sega had a quota to fill.
What the fuck, man?
Aside from Burns, you also receive legitimate assistance from your logistical support expert, Elena Ivanova, a hot blonde at DARPA with a 183 IQ, and some camera-exploited attributes.
Gameplay.
Vanquish is here to show Western gamers and developers that Quantum Theory is not how the Japanese would make a AAA third-person shooter. Let me break down Vanquish and how it's not your average third-person shooter real quick. Sam's Blade can morph into 3 different types of guns. It keeps a memory of the 3 most recent guns you picked up and what level you've gotten that gun type to. The way this works is if you pick up a gun of the same type you're holding, it will refill your ammo, unless your ammo is full, in which case it'll level up your gun 1 point. You gain distinct rank upgrades every 3 points, which improve your ammo capacity, accuracy, firing and reloading speeds, and damage. You can also find upgrade power-ups scattered throughout levels which give you a full rank up. To make the cover-to-cover combat faster, Sam can slide like Mega Man, only with rocket boosters. Sam can also slow down time by firing while sliding, firing while leaping over cover, reaching a critical damage point, or striking a very sexy pose. Not only is the game over the top with its slow-mo rocket-boosting adventures, but the protagonist himself is so cool he can't even throw grenades properly. He throws it like he's on the 3-point line.
Here comes the boom! Whoa! Boom shakalaka!
What more do you expect from a man whose bio starts with a star college football player? Real cool, Sam. Just like smoking.
Are you smoking a cigarette? Cigarettes are poison. They kill people.
But Sam's a badass and he knows it. He doesn't waste his time with lame quick-time events like opening doors and dealing with asthma attacks. No, he's too busy drilling through robots or punching the shit out robot heads. Oh yeah, Sam's a badass. This level of over-the-top quick-time event is kinda expected if you played Mikami's last game, God Hand. In fact, you almost feel at home here if you enjoyed God Hand. All one of you.
Visuals.
Vanquish has a fairly unique style that is influenced in obvious ways by Kashern or Kashern. Look it up. And other shooters such as Killzone 2 and Gears of War. Robert Burns, for example, looks like he's from Gears of War and sounds like he's from Killzone 2.
More like getting good at looking like an asshole.
The environments are lush and the draw distance doesn't pull any punches. In fact, Vanquish uses an evolution of the Bayonetta engine, but is optimized for drawing insane amounts of objects on screen at once, so it can render the colony far off into the background. This is pretty cool to see in practice, and I found it to have an appreciable quality. Generally with video games, you have 2 major pushes with the engine. fewer objects rendered better or tons of objects which look like crap. Vanquish, however, finds a nice balance between the two. The image quality, though, isn't the sharpest this gen because Vanquish runs at 1024 by 720 and scales horizontally. If you don't know what this means, then just ignore it and look at Elena's butt.
What the fuck, man?
Moving on! The slow-mo effects are well executed, which is to be expected when the game's made by a number of employees from the Beautiful Joe team. And when you slow down time, every bullet becomes a physical entity floating through the air and can be walked around. It's quite cool. This game is like the motherfucking 4th of July up in this bitch, with sparks flying everywhere and explosions going off left and right, leaving large plumes of smoke behind. The layers of graphical polish are absolutely mind-boggling, and it's because of the resolution and a great deal of technical genius that Vanquish is able to render so much on screen without much of a performance hit. Though the game's frame rate does dip occasionally on the PS3, it allegedly runs smoother than the 360 version of the game. As much as we'd love to test this in-house, our 360 died, so we don't have anything to play on. And also, dropping $120 on every game we review would kinda get costly. However, if a certain Mr. Mikami would like to send us a, I don't know, free copy of a certain 360 game and, I don't know, 360 and a copy of God Hand and a life-size Leon Kennedy replica. Yeah, that would be great. We know you have one, Mikami. Don't deny it. I can see behind your deceptive smile. Wait, what was I talking about again? Sound. Everything is as it should be here. The giant mechs make a proper thud sound when they stomp into the ground, and I don't mean giant thud sound in the sort of Michael Bay, the bass is turned way the hell up type deal. I mean realistic thud sounds, and bullets zing through the air. It's fantastic. Slow-mo sounds like it should, just like The Matrix taught us, and voice acting is spot on. The soundtrack is cool and unique. I mean, just listen to it. Goddamn. There's only one thing to point out about the sound design in this game that's noteworthy aside from its excellence. If you're conversing with a comrade in your upper left codec screen thingy, like you often do in battle, and go into slow-mo, it's quite disturbing sounding. Burns sounds like he's only slightly more angry than usual, but Elena is near impossible to understand when this happens. Though, it could be worse.
I'm a doctor.
Longevity.
Vanquish is short. It only takes about 6 hours to beat, but the way it's designed is conducive to abundant replay value. Your performance each chapter is ranked on a leaderboard and there are multiple difficulty settings. Once you beat the game, you can select any chapter and replay it. Each chapter has a ping loss statue, no, I have no idea what that means and I beat the game, which is hidden, and collecting all of them makes your numbers go up and nets you a trophy or achievement, so if you're OCD, good for you. Beating the game also unlocks the challenge mode, which sets you up against numerous waves of difficult foes, much like the Horde mode from Gears of War. Completing the story mode also rewards you with an insanely difficult mode known as God Hard mode. Wait a second. Bob. Zoom. Enhance. Zoom. Enhance! Okay, now just overlay the thing with this and... Son of a bitch! Now it's time for the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good. Unique, solid third-person shooter gameplay with eccentric mechanics. The weapon leveling up system. Some very humorous scenes I can't show you or otherwise that would spoil it. And there's tons of replay value. The bad. There isn't a multiplayer mode, so that may be a deal breaker for some. Also, it would have been nice if the game was a bit longer. The ugly. Zaitsev reminded me of Noman's sausage pants. Thanks, buddy. Thanks. All of this is why we here at GigaBoots.com give Vanquish a 9.7 out of 10.
Man, we've got 8 hours to stop New York from becoming the next San Francisco. What the fuck, man?
I like you, dingo. I mean, I like you. You're a real bastard, Noman. And you've been a bad boy. You know, when you say it like that, it sounds gay. Is that a problem, soldier boy? Ooh, this is awkward. I'm straight. No, Well then, honest mistake. I want you to be under my command. After what you did my comrades back on Callisto? And by command, I mean penis. What? I'm gonna cut slap you, dingo. I'd rather die! Either way is good for me.